Hi, my name is Stephanie Meehan of 52 Climate Actions for Children, and today I will be speaking with Joe delAmor about a new upcoming program designed to support parents in navigating the challenges of raising children in challenging times we now find ourselves in. Joe delAmor is a mom and a stepmom of two brand new young adults, 19 and 20 years old, who graduated high school in 2020, right in the midst of COVID lockdowns and school closures. She has also cared for and worked with hundreds of other people's children of all ages in a wide variety of situations, from long-term co-parenting community to public schools, from wilderness camps and preschools to in-home nannying over the last 20 years. Joe has been facilitating the work that Reconnects since 2013 with a focus on dismantling oppression, transforming our cultural paradigm, and supporting parents through these unprecedented challenging times. In her dedication to personal and cultural transformation as a catalyst for planetary healing, she has paid close attention to what this new generation needs at this pivotal time on planet Earth, charting what works, what doesn't, and what is being called forth from us as parents. She's woven the insights and practical tools she's gathered through all of this experience into her practice of new paradigm parenting and her forthcoming book, Raising Children in the Midst of Global Crisis, a compassionate guidebook for parenting in turbulent times. So, hello, Joe.
Hello.
Maybe you can begin by talking about what is new parenting, new paradigm parenting.
Thank you for asking. New paradigm parenting, which is sometimes a mouthful, is the term that I'm using for this method of parenting and caregiving for children that I feel is necessary at this time on the planet. So as you said in my intro there, I'm really dedicated to this cultural paradigm shift, what is sometimes in the work that Reconnects referred to as the Great Turning. But when I look at all of the challenges that we're facing on the planet right now, I really trace them back to this paradigm that we're functioning from, which is a paradigm is like a mindset. It's like a worldview. It's kind of the underlying beliefs that make up our sense of who we are on the planet, make our choices, how we collectively form our institutions and organizations. And so I can trace back all of these issues and challenges, both the personal and the collective, to this way of seeing ourselves on the planet, and see that we need a real shift, a real paradigm shift. And when we look at where paradigms come from, it's mostly through the things that we pick up as children, through this kind of education that we get on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis, from the moment that we're born, mostly unspoken from the people who take care of us. And so this is I feel like a really poignant place to do this cultural paradigm work is with the parents who are raising the children of this generation, to really look at and see what kind of a worldview am I creating for my children from the very moment that they're born, and through all of these little subtle moments and all of their developmental stages.
Beautiful. And what inspired you to get started in this kind of work supporting parents?
Oh, it's the two things that are most prevalent and important in my life is like what is happening for us as a planetary organism on that big picture, and taking care of my kids, and taking care of kids. I have two of my own kids, but I have like lots and lots of kids that I've cared for and are living dear in my heart. So through all of my experience of like the different kinds of caregiving I've provided for children and my own mothering experience, I just see this as such a key intersection of these two important aspects. And I see, especially in the years I was nannying in Portland, Oregon, from 2017 to 2020, I worked with I worked with over 70 different children. I was doing temp nannying, and then I had a couple of long-term positions, and I was just seeing the challenge and the struggle that well-meaning, progressive, heart-centered parents were having with the moment that we're raising our children in, this challenging time that we're raising our children in. So specifically during that period of time, I started to really gather some insights that I had collected over the years and formulate them into this book, and then develop them into this version of a work that reconnects experience for parents, because I felt like there was just such a strong need for it.
And I've read and heard firsthand some really pretty powerful feedback from parents in the last program that you ran. Myself included, actually, as a participant, as having been a participant in that program. And I'm wondering, why do you think it is that it's so important for parents to carve out that time for self-care and doing this kind of work, even if it's a challenge to find that time?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it will be a challenge. It will always be a challenge to carve out that time as a parent, absolutely. And yet, I really feel like parenting is the most important work that you're going to do. Like, you might be a brilliant professional in some aspect of your life. You might be a powerful activist in some aspect of life. But as far as masterpieces and works of activism and things that we can do in this world that create some kind of influence, the children that you raise are going to have the most impact on the world, for the longest amount of time. And how you raise them and what they, the resources that they have and what they're able to do in their lives, what they're able to give in their lives, I feel like is the biggest gift that you can give to the world. And so to pause throughout your parenting experience and deepen your perspective and put the type of time and energy into that you might put to any other masterpiece that you're working on, or any other, great ambition that you're working on, I feel like is really, really valuable. To me, it's one of the most valuable things. And to do our own inner emotional work, to do our own reflection, it just, we have an opportunity there to clear just generations and generations of patterns, generations and generations of trauma, and to reorient ourselves so that we're raising our children in a way that is actually healing for us, healing for them, and healing for the planet. So I really feel like it's important to pause and take that time periodically through your children's childhood.
Beautiful. And what makes this program unique? What can a parent expect to take away from the experience of a program with you?
So this program is totally unique in the sense that it's generated out of my unique experience and all of the intersections of the teachings that I've dedicated myself to over the last 20 years, and the unique experience of all of these unique children and families who have taught me and educated me through my direct experience with them. But this program particularly activates the work that reconnects in a specific way for parents at this specific time. And so what I've experienced with the work that reconnects is that it's a really powerful opportunity to do group work. And as a personal coach and a group facilitator, I've found that being able to do this kind of deep work in direct experience with other people is really powerful. It really opens things up. We get to see ourselves and see others, and see ourselves in reflection with others, and actually dig deeper down into the layers in really effective ways that really actually transform how we see ourselves, how we see our work as parents, how we see our opportunities, and the ways in which we can engage challenges with resilience. So I'm employing the work that reconnects in this very particular way, and I've adapted practices and created new practices that are very specifically designed to the kinds of challenges that we face as parents in this time.
And for those that may be watching that don't know what the work that Reconnects is, could you just describe briefly what that work is?
Sure. Yeah. So the work Reconnects is this inspiring, powerful body of work that was generated by Joanna Macy and several of her colleagues over the course of 40 to 50 years. It has evolved and developed in an emergent way, which is really exciting, with people working on it all around the world. It leads us through, well, it starts with a framework of where we are in the world. And so I've developed a specific version of that for parents to really land us where we are right now in this precious and precarious time. And then it moves us through a spiral of experience, starting with gratitude, so that we're resourced and grounded in our gratitude, and then moving us into honoring our pain for the world, which allows us to really tap into that emotional depth and those places where we often don't have very much time in our society, and especially as parents, to feel and tend to that emotional challenge. And then through honoring our pain for the world, we move into seeing with new eyes. And so this is a place where we can start to imagine, how might we be different here? How might we do some of this paradigm shifting work? You know, what is the opportunity for rising out of this challenge in resilience? And then we end with going forth, or I often call it growing forth. So this is the place where we take action, or we, you know, kind of set intentions for moving into, how am I going to do this differently from here on? And so the technology of that spiral is quite effective. And in each stage of the spiral, there are specific practices where you're engaging with other people. You're engaging your moral imagination, as Joanna Macy calls it, to activate parts of ourselves that we typically don't get to access in our daily lives. And what it amounts to is, in a short period of time with a group of people in a safe, solid, grounded container, we can really stretch into new places of empowerment and resilience, and really almost kind of breathe life into our life again. You know, give us some juice to go back to the mat, to go back to the parenting, to go back to the activism, and do it with ever more clarity and strength.
Great, sounds amazing. And as we both know, most parents usually don't have much spare time, right? So if one were able to participate in this program, how much time would be needed to get the most out of the experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I specifically designed this program so that it's workable for parents, and it's spread out over the course of 12 weeks. We have 6 2-hour sessions. So that's the primary piece, is to be able to carve out those 2 hours where you can actually drop in and focus. And now I really highly recommend that you reach out to your support systems in whatever way that you need to, so that you can have those 2 hours every other week, kid free, so that you can really go there. And I know that feels like a stretch for a lot of folks, but it's also actually a really great tool to engage. Is that it's important to carve out a little bit of kid free time throughout your weeks for your own adult work. So it would be those 2 hours every other week for 12 weeks. And then in addition to that, I give some reading out of the book. And so that should only take about a half an hour, maybe an hour. It's just one chapter in between each session. And then there are practices that you engage with your kids and your family. And so that doesn't take any additional time. It hopefully actually will save you some time, or give you some kind of support for your time in between sessions. And so it keeps you engaged with the work without taking you away from your family in any kind of way.
Mm. Right. So you're just integrating it into your daily life. That's part of the practice.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to add that part of the program is you get a sneak peek into Joe's book, which is really amazing. Just wanted to throw that in there. So where can someone sign up if they're interested?
So we'll share the link attached to this video, but it is on my website, which is radiantbalance.com. It's easy to find the link. It's called what is it called? Parenting in Turbulent Times, a 12-week program. And it's right there on my homepage, radiantbalance.com.
Radiantbalance.com. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Joe, for taking the time to answer my questions and for doing this inspiring and powerful work in the world. Having participated in the first program you ran, I can honestly say that this is a highly transformative, empowering experience that is well worth the investment of time and energy. I hope that this next program is as powerful as the last was. I'm sure it will be. And I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
See you then.